Hello everyone, it's the 12th of September, it's early in the morning, so if I'm keeping my voice down, that's why. But I thought I will start my second vlog for 30 September. I finished the first one a few days ago, but I took a few days off of 30 September to finish other things that needed to be finished. So yeah, now it's time to go back to 30 September. I have 6 books left, and these are 4, but there are also 2 ebooks. So I have Territory of Light by Yuko Tsushima, The Long Drive by Sion Jones, Invisible Cities by Italo Calvino, To Be Thought Fortunate by Becky Chambers, and then I have The Traitor's Niche by Ismail Kadare and The Blue Sky by Galsan Xiang in ebook. And so far I have already started Territory of Light yesterday, and I'm already half of the way through. It's fairly fast read, and this is about a mother with a daughter that, like a 2-year-old daughter, that leaves her husband, or the husband leaves her. They're thinking about getting a divorce, so they separated. And it's like her starting her life anew, getting an apartment, trying to figure everything out. And I find this really interesting and really relatable in some ways. Like, there are so many things you have to do with a child, and sometimes you're not in the mood, and having a partner might help with that. But yeah, that being alone always, that is really hard. Not that I'm divorcing my husband, but yeah, sometimes he's not around because he's at work or something, and then it's still like really hard. Yeah, I'm enjoying this. It has that typical detached Japanese style of writing, and also that touch of almost magical realism. There's nothing magical happening here, but there are a couple of moments in which I thought, oh, maybe this is going to have a magical turn, even if it didn't. It just, I don't know, something about the way writing Japanese literature works makes me think that something magical is going to happen at some point. But no, it's just about this woman trying to figure out her life. And I'm really enjoying it. And then I also started already The Traitor's Niche by Ismail Kadare. That one I'm a lot less into it. So I have only read about 20 pages of that, so I'm a lot less into the way in that one, and also that one is longer. But that one, I can see why it was part of the International Booker. It has this very literary feeling. It's not like overwritten, but it has a very conscious choice of words, even though it's a translation. And so far it's about, I don't know exactly what time frame, but not the present day. It's a historical fiction, and it's about this boy so far that takes care of. So they have this like niche, like a place in the wall where they put the head of the latest traitor that was executed, and this boy's job is to look after the head so that it doesn't decompose, and if he does it wrong, he can just be executed himself, or like very bad things can happen to him, even though like those heads are sometimes there for weeks. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. I'm sure it happened in the past, but I have never heard about it. And it's also like giving some context about the pashas and the empires that are going into Albania. This is an Albanian book. So yeah, it's very interesting. Both of them are very interesting so far. I'm quite enjoying it. I think this one for sure I will finish today. Yeah, we'll see. Today is Tuesday. I'm going to work in a bit, but on Saturday we are going to Portugal for 10 days, which is very exciting. We haven't had a holiday since December, so that's gonna be fun. But I wanted to finish, I'm planning to take these 2 with me. I wanted to finish as much of the other ones as possible before I leave, just because I'm not sure I'm going to have a lot of time for reading, so I want to like clear things out before I go. And if I read more, that's cool, but if I don't, that's also cool. I'm going for a conference. Alex and my husband are coming too, but I'm going for a conference, so a big part of my time will be in that conference, and then we will be traveling and sightseeing, so I don't think there's going to be massive amounts of time for me to read. So I'm keeping it as small as possible, but we will see. We'll see how it go, and I'll talk to you next time when I'm finishing something. Hello. So it's still Tuesday, but it's 9:15, and I just finished Territory of Light by Yuko Tsushima, and I really enjoyed this one. As I said, it's very Japanese in the writing, very detached, straightforward, but at the same time it has some feeling of magic realism, even if there is no magic in it. Like, there is a point in which the woman is struggling, so she like seems to see like several funerals a day just randomly on the street, stuff like that happening, but it's not quite magic, it's just like quirkiness. And yeah, basically it deals with this woman who is struggling a lot after she gets separated from her husband, mainly because of he is kind of not able to give any economic support, and not just like he's not supporting them, but like he's consuming the money that his wife is making. So at some point they decide this is not working for us and we're gonna separate, and he's in and out of the life of this woman and her child, like very sporadically, so she has to deal with everything herself, and she's not dealing with it really well. And this was very relatable in so many ways, like especially there is some parts about how the mother is being judged by society, about the way that she treats her daughter, about being 5 minutes late for work, or like maybe by being 5 minutes late for daycare, that kind of thing. And that feels very, very relatable to me. I think I don't know why people feel like if you're a mother you can be judged, and like there is no filter, and there is always something to judge about. So that felt very relatable. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it was very well done. I also enjoyed that it was short. I normally like big books, but I think this story couldn't have been any longer without dragging, so I appreciated that the author knew where to stop. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I haven't read much more of The Traitor's Niche, but I think I'm going to brush my teeth, go to bed and read that until I fall asleep, which will probably be soon because I'm really tired. So yeah, that's the plan for right now. And yeah, tomorrow is another busy day, and we will see how we go. Hello, so it's Thursday evening, it's almost 11 p.m, so I'm really tired, I need to go to sleep. But I thought I will update you because earlier today I finished The Traitor's Niche, and it was, very interesting. It's very, very literary, and it's very, for how short it is fairly complex, and I think that's partly why I, as much as I could admire and I think it's a good book, I couldn't quite enjoy it because I didn't have the background for the book. I don't know so much about the history of the Ottoman Empire and stuff like that. It did also have a touch of magical realism, which I don't know how it fits within the culture and within the cultural context. So yeah, I think it's a really good book. I just, personally couldn't enjoy it as much as I think I could have if I had that context. But yeah, so now I have started briefly 2 books. The first one is The Blue Sky, and then also The Long Drive, but I have read like the 5-10 pages of each, so I don't have much to update on, and I will let you know when I read a bit more. Hello, so it's Saturday afternoon, it's past 12, and I wanted to update you because I finished The Long Dry yesterday, and this is about a farmer and his wife, and they there is a very long dry, so like the animals are not behaving like they normally do, and they're having issues with surviving basically, and it's basically about the little things, about how the cows escape and the ducks and how they have to take care of things and things like that. It does have like overall sense of dystopia, even though nothing dystopian happens at the end of the book. Spoilers, it starts raining, so it's not like a permanent really bad dystopian thing, but it is there is a sense of unease in the book that things are changing in the long term as well. It's not just like this one dry spin that they have to survive, and I liked it. It was nothing like, I don't know, super impactful for me. I think if you are more in connection with those kind of rural communities, this probably hits home a lot more than it did for me, but I think overall it was a good book, and I have nothing bad to say. The other book I have been reading is The Blue Sky, and I am about 30% of the way in that one, and this one is narrated by a child in Mongolia, and they live in a jack, like in the middle of nowhere, I understand, and he has a very special relationship with his grandma, but his grandma is getting old, so it is kind of hinted that she's gonna die soon, and that's so far what it is. It's very, obviously it's from the perspective of a kid, so it has that innocence overall thing, and it talks a lot about the daily lives of Mongolian people in the mountains, which is very interesting to me, but yeah, there's also nothing super amazing has happened yet or super impactful, but I'm enjoying that too. But now, so Alex just went down for her nap, and when she wakes up we have to leave for the airport to go to Lisbon, which I'm very excited about. So probably, I don't know if I will update you in this one at some point, or I will just like hopefully remember to take some clips of things so that I can put them in the vlog. But I need to finish packing now and clean the house a little bit so that it's clean when we come back, and yeah, that's my plan for now. I also need to take a shower and all those little things while Alex is asleep, and then we can leave. So yeah, I'll catch you when I catch you. So it's Wednesday the 20th now. It has been a few days, but it has been a very busy few days. We arrived here in Portugal on Saturday. It was a mess. The whole checking in. We lost one of the bags in the airport. They found it and we have it now, but it was a whole thing. And then we were just busy visiting Portugal, and I'm also busy with work. So it has been busy. I haven't read much, but I did finish The Blue Sky today. And it's very, I think it was a nice story. It was very well told. It's a lot about grief, and it has a lot of Mongolian cultural elements included to that. It's a very traditional place and stuff. So yeah, it was very interesting to read, and I'm glad I read it. I have also started Invisible Cities. I've only read like 20 pages of it, but it's very fast. It's very kind of like snippets of things. It's kind of like flash non-fiction, I would say. Very poetic, and I'm enjoying it so far. Some of the things are going a little bit over my head, but I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, I'm hoping to read this by the end of the week, maybe. It's Wednesday now, so and it's 148 pages. So I have like 100 pages to go. I think 100 pages in 3 days sounds reasonable. So I'm hoping to finish this by the end of Friday, and then I still have a few days for my last book. I also went to this really cute library in the city center. It's kind of old and very famous. There are a lot of tourists, and I did buy a book. I bought Libro del Desasosiego by Fernando Pessoa. Fernando Pessoa is one of the most well-regarded Portuguese authors. They had this and José Saramago a lot for tourists, and also they have it mostly in Portuguese, Spanish, and English. And I decided to go for the Spanish version because Portuguese is a lot closer to Spanish, so the translation tends to be more natural. So that's why I picked this one up and not in the English version. It's quite a big book, so I'm not sure to September for this. But yeah, it seems to be very philosophical about the being human, and it's apparently a lot about Lisbon as well. So I wanted to pick this up in Lisbon. It's kind of a nice connection. I don't think I'm going to start reading it here because I have other books to read, but yeah, and it's quite a heavy one. I think it's like 600 pages or something. But yeah, I picked this one up and I'm excited to read it. So yeah, that's my update. it is Monday the 25th of September and we are in Porto right now. My family is taking a nap, so I'm taking this time off a little bit to talk about things. So first of all, I finished Invisible Cities by Italo Calvino, and I have a bit mixed feelings about this because I did really enjoy the writing. I think he's a very good writer and very poetic and all that stuff. And it's very meta as well, which I also enjoyed. But I don't know, I'm not sure I got the message, and if what I think the message is what it is. It's a little bit disappointing as a message. So this has like snippets of let me show you, like things like this of describing different cities, imaginary cities, and it's kind of like a conversation between Marco Polo and someone else, and Marco Polo is kind of explaining the cities that he has visited throughout the years, or the sign or something. But all the cities have names of women, and it kind of sounds at some point that Marco Polo is kind of describing women as cities, and I might be completely wrong on that explanation of this book, but that's kind of how I felt it was explaining everything at the end, and I was kind of disappointed about that. So yeah, mixed feelings about this. I did like the writing and the meta aspects of it. I didn't like the message that I think I got, and if that's not the message, then I didn't get it. So yeah, I don't know, mixed feelings. So now I have started my last book for Short September, which is To Be Doubted Fortunate by Becky Chambers. So this is sci-fi, and Becky Chambers makes like very cozy sci-fi. I have read a couple of other books by her and I really enjoyed them. This is kind of slower than I was expecting. I know the other books by her were also slow, but this feels slower than that, and because it's so short, I'm already halfway through the book and nothing has really happened. So yeah, I was hoping for a little bit more of a plot going on. That's not the case, but I'm still enjoying it. And as I said, I'm about halfway through page 81 of 130 something. So I don't think I will finish this today, maybe tomorrow, but yeah, definitely before the end of September, so that's good. And then I also went to a bookstore today. So there is this very famous bookstore in Porto called Libreria Lello, which is like this very fancy place. I think I got some clips, so you probably have seen it. It's part of, like, I think J.K. Rowling was there at some point and based some part of Harry Potter on that bookstore, and it is very pretty. But as a bookstore, it was not very impressive. They only had like classics and children's books and merch. They didn't have any good selection of books, and I mean, fair, because you have to pay an entrance to go in, so obviously normal people are not gonna go there. And they also had like super fancy editions of everything rather than the normal paperbacks. There were not that many normal paperbacks there or anything like that, so it's basically just a tourist trap rather than a bookstore for the sake of a bookstore. But I did still buy a book, because if you pay the entrance and then you buy a book, they discount the entrance cost from the book, so I thought I might as well. So I bought The Year of the Death of Ricardo Reis by Jose Saramago. And I think this is interesting because this is set in Lisbon around Pessoa, and if you remember, in Lisbon I did buy a book by Pessoa, and so this kind of ties with that fact that this book is about Pessoa, and then I have also a book from Pessoa, so I thought I'll just get this. I wanted to buy it in Spanish because, as I have said, Portuguese is closer to Spanish than to English, so the translation is more natural, but they didn't have it in Spanish, so I just bought it in English. I think it would be still fine.
Yeah, that's what I bought in that bookstore. But yeah, a bit disappointed because as beautiful as it was just not so much of a bookstore anymore. So yeah, it is what it is. We are leaving tomorrow. We're going back to the Netherlands tomorrow. So yeah, I don't know. I think I will be able to read in the travel because Alex will need attention. But I am going to read a little bit more of this while they are sleeping. I'll update you when I finish this. So yeah, that's my update. See you later. Hello everyone. So we're back home. It's like 9:30 on Tuesday, and we arrived like three and a half hours ago, and I've been mostly unpacking, going to the supermarket to get some basics, that kind of stuff, laundry. But I have finished the last, I had like 35 pages left of this, and I have finished it just now, just before going to bed. And I have enjoyed this overall. I think Becky Chambers is a really good writer if you like slow books, but also science fiction books. So yeah, I enjoyed this one. I don't think it's as strong as the other ones because part of the joy of her books to me is that slow burn, and obviously in 130 pages you cannot do that as much, just because then there's not as much plot or as much story. Like in this particular book, it doesn't have a lot of richness in the world. I would say it's about this this spaceship with a certain amount of people that went out to explore new worlds, and the idea is that they will come back to Earth, and then there's something happens that puts that into question, and that's about it. And they're all from Earth and all of that. Whereas in her other books, we have these super rich characters from all over the place that work very differently to each other, and that's kind of the joy of those books. And yeah, this didn't have that. So I enjoyed it, but it's not her best work in my opinion, and I prefer her longer books. But yeah, other than that, I enjoyed it. I finished all my prompts for Shorty September now. It's the 26th of September, so a couple of days left, but I have other books that I want to finish before the month is over, so I think this is gonna be it for Shorty September. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you also read some good books in Shorty September. Let me know down below. And if you have any vlog or anything, I would love to see it. And until next video, bye!